Last night, we just got confirmation on a closed beta test for Wuthering Waves, and today I wanted to talk about 5 different things that I hope that they continue to improve on. So let's go ahead and jump into that list. Number 1 is going to be the combat. We have seen a fleshed out combat at a lot of the gameplay and the technical tests, but I hope that in the closed beta, we're able to see just exactly how far that's gone and what it looks like to face different bosses. It's one thing to be able to see it and kind of experience it that way, but to play it yourself and kind of see if it's going to be pretty close to what PGR is going for, and or being kind of a little bit more hardcore and a little bit more intensive when it comes to strategical elements and team composition is really going to be something that I hope to see in the closed beta test. There was quite a bit of different mechanics between the different characters, and I hope that's getting more and more fleshed out as we've seen summons. We've seen some different kind of bars that you had to grind on as you were going through the fight, and just some different team tactics when it came to QTEs. So I really hope we're able to experience that for ourselves in the closed beta. Number 2 is going to be design. So we have seen quite a bit of redesigns as the characters have went through Wuthering Waves. On the Twitter, they have been updating us on some of the different things that they've decided to rework. And honestly, I love this aspect of it. I think that a lot of the characters were a little bit more dull and boring at the very beginning, especially in that technical test. So it's nice to see that they're updating us on Twitter and letting us know, hey, we're working on these designs and we're kind of going through what seems to be kind of a rework on some of the more basic characters. And honestly, I gotta say, the artwork that they've been showing, the redesign that they did for the closed beta stuff, I think this is phenomenal, and I hope that they continue to do that with a lot of the characters and we see more fleshed out designs as we go through the process of the closed beta into launch. Number 3 is going to be boss fights. So I hope they continue to improve the boss fights and showcase a little bit more on what's going on with those boss fights, because I am super stoked to have like a really hard boss that you have to think about and you have to go for, and you have to like do the different mechanics, parrying, dodging, and really just have to fight. I like the fact that it's a little bit more difficult and it seemingly has to take a little bit more skill to actually get incorporated with the different fights. And honestly, I love the kind of cutscenes and the different kind of modes between, you know, punching through somebody through like a mountain or whatever to get to the next scene, and just the different phases and stuff like that. I really hope that they continue to do that and make it a little bit more difficult as we progress through the bosses. This is something that I hope they don't walk back on, which gets me into point 4, and that's going to be difficulty. So I hope and I pray that they don't walk back on the difficulty. PGR is fun because you have to worry about the mechanics. You have to think about it. You can't just go in there and start swinging and slashing, because you're not going to do very well. You got to think about what you're doing. And there's a lot of casual open world games right now, and I hope Wuthering Waves can make their waves for lack of a better word in the difficult space and be a little bit more like the Elden Ring of anime open gacha games, and just allow us to be a little bit more difficult. You know, we have casual games, we have stuff we can play on the side. Genshin's a great game to go explore, kind of go through things, but I want to see something a little bit more difficult. I want to get my butt kicked a couple different times. I want to think about the boss that I have to fight and how I'm fighting them, and just kind of rely on my own skill. It just looks so promising in that aspect, and I really hope that they don't walk back on it, because I really think that they can change the industry if they continue to kind of go down that path, in my opinion. Number 5 is going to be world building. They're doing a ton of this on Twitter. I love this. I love the fact that they're showing little glimpses, whether it's just like kind of like, hey, here's like kind of a mountaintop, here's kind of like the assemblation of something that's really cool. Like, you know, whether it means anything to us right now, it's just really cool to see these little nuances and little pieces of information into this story. And the trailer we just got did just that. It didn't even show any characters. It literally reminded me of an Arknight's kind of conception when it comes to like the way that they present their different trailers, and the fact that they do an entire actual world building, and you can see like what kind of regions there are, what factions there are, and it does it very clean. I love this. I actually love the fact that they didn't feature any characters in this, because it's nice. It's cool to see that they're not just like, hey, we have cool characters, don't get me wrong on that, but we have cool scenes, we have cool scenery, we have cool like connections and factions, a different story. That starts to tell, like, piques my interest, man. That's like, what's going on with that story? Why is that like that? Why are we seeing different faction symbols? What is going on with that? That is the stuff I really love to see, and I love the fact that they're doing that on Twitter. It seems like the last couple of days and weeks and so, they've just been really pushing the world building, and I hope they continue to do that as we go into launch and closed beta. So those are my top 5 of what I really hope is going to happen in Wuthering Waves. Let me know down in the comments if you agree, if you have something else you'd really like to see, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good rest of your night, guys. Peace.